Yes, yes, yes. Welcome to the reality of Housing Connect. And this show, I'm going to teach you the reality of Housing Connect. Not what they show you, not what they tell you. Here is going to be everything that Housing Connect is, really. Not what they tell you it is on paper. So, first, let me start by saying Housing Connect is not to get you an apartment. Okay, Housing Connect is a city-run lottery where they take your data and your information and pick who's qualified for this apartment. Because remember, they only have a tiny number of apartments that are allocated from the developer, so that we can understand a little more better. The developer goes to HPD and he says, "Hey, look, I'm gonna make a building here, and it's gonna be affordable housing. I can give you some affordable units." So the city says, "Okay, you can give me affordable units. What tier would you take?" So there's three tiers. So there's the first tier, which is the developer would have to allocate 15% of the apartments. And then there's tier two, where they would have to allocate 20% of the apartments. And then there's tier three, where they would allocate 30% of the apartments, right? So by allocation, meaning these are set aside. So if a building had 100 apartments, 30 will be set aside for HPD, DHS, HRA, because they all work together. And then the 70 will be for the owner who can charge market rent. By 30 apartments that are set aside, preference will go to those in the shelter. So those in the shelter would get preference because they're in a shelter and it's set aside for that. And then the remaining they will put on Housing Connect. So as you can see, probably on Housing Connect, you'll probably find 6 apartments at tops, 7, maybe 10, right? But those 10 have more than 30,000 applications. So why is Housing Connect even in existence? It's in existence so that the city and the landlord won't be liable for discrimination cases, making it seem like this is a legitimate process. So by us doing it this way, no one can say the landlord or the city discriminated. But the reality is this: if the city is controlled, if the city had set aside 30 apartments, why is there even a lottery? If they already know, the city knows who has vouchers. All you have to do is say, "Send me your voucher and we'll go from there." But no, they don't do that. They have you go to a lottery, apply, and then wait. But we're going to see your information. We're going to see if you qualify, if we're going to put you in here or not. The issue is, if there are 5 apartments, 5 on Housing Connect, why is there 35,000 applicants? Okay, it's a lottery, right? So no problem, 35,000 applicants. But your log number is, let's say, 200. Your log number is 200. So by your log number being 200, and there's 5 apartments left, how are you going to get to 200? How are you even going to get this apartment? How? It's not even enough number of apartments on the lottery to even get to 200. So the reality is they would only get to 1 through 5. The lowest your number is, the better chance you have of winning the lottery, right? Because if your number is 1, you're the first person that they have to go to. If your application is good, boom, you're ready. If your application is not good, you're ineligible, boom, number 2. So that's how the lottery goes. It goes 1, 2, 3. So if your number is 1,000, why do they ask for all your documents. There's a reason for that. They have to ask for your documents because in case HPD audits the marketing agent and the developer of the building, they can say, hey, look, I got the documents from Felicia, from Eric, from XYZ. But remember, these are number 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. But on paper, to show HPD, these are who I collected the documents from. The process is not actually slow. The marketing agents and the developers make it slow because at the end of the day, they really want those that are basically income. Because think about it, they already set aside 30% of the apartments. So we'll let HPD and DHS deal with that part. We will deal with the markup and making our apartments $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 more than what, we're giving to the city. Because, the city rent has to be city guidelines. 2,000, 25, 3,050, whatever your voucher is, it has to be around that, sense. So the marketing agents stall. They love to stall. That's another reason why you're waiting so long. Secondly, your number is too far. Your number is too far. Look at the apartments. If it's only 7 apartments and you got 1,000, you're never going to be called unless 999 people before you is disqualified. So again, it's not about getting you an apartment. It's about liability for the city and the developer. Let's go back to why this is not for regular people, right? If you go to Housing Connect and you look on Housing Connect, it says always says preference. 5% of the apartments will be for visibly or disabled. 20% of the apartments would be for city council board members. CB3, CB8, CB10, whatever board that agreed to let them build it. So this is how it goes. You, who has to be in a lottery, has to wait, has to get all your paperwork together. But there's no percentage set aside for you. But there's 20% set aside for board members. Let's let it sink in. So why is it 20% for board members? You know why? Because it's these same board members that we voted in who approved them to make this building in their community with 20% allocated for board members. Look at it. Just look at it and you'll see. This is just part 1 of my whole series because it's a lot. I can't even just get in one video. I'll be here for an hour, maybe 2 hours. But this lottery is a scam. It's not meant for anyone to even get in. If you do get called, then you had a great log number or, you were in a shelter. You were given allocated rent. Let's just go to one. Let's go to one. I got a client and she applied for 1 Putnam Avenue in Brooklyn. Okay, this nice, big, beautiful renovated building. They have 2 2-bedroom for 130% of the AMI and 2 2-bedroom for 80% of the AMI. Each of these, the 2-bedroom at the 130 is $3,299. At the 80 is $2,763. On the free market, that same 2-bedroom or similar is $6,500 in the same building. So let's let's put it together. The same 2-bedroom is 6,000. On Housing Connect, it's 3,000 and 2,700. It's all a scam. It's all a sham so that we can believe that the city is actually making it affordable. But there's nothing affordable about none of these new buildings. Nothing. They walk in, they tell city council, they tell HPD, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And then once they give their set aside, they shut everybody else out. Because even at free market, they're still supposed to accept your voucher or give you rent stabilized. Because half of these buildings, which most people don't know either, hell would it be on Housing Connect. These are rent stabilized buildings. Some of these buildings, the whole building is rent stabilized. Maybe the rent may be $3,000, but it's rent stabilized. But most people won't know that. Most people won't know that because they don't advertise it. They don't let you know. But anybody that's going to get a lease now from anybody, you ask them about the rider, of the rent stabilization rider with your lease, so that they can let you know then and there if your apartment is rent stabilized, which most of these are. But being that the city doesn't have enough manpower, that's why they take so long on your Housing Connect application, because there's no penalties, there's no deadlines. So who's checking? Who cares? I'll make you wait for years and years and years. Secondly, all these excuses of your voucher doesn't cover the Housing Connect is bullshit. Okay? Especially if you're in a shelter. If you're in a shelter, your voucher definitely covers it. Okay? So by them telling you no, that's not a legal denial. Everyone has to give you a legal denial. Meaning, you was denied because X, Y, Z. You can't tell me my voucher doesn't cover it or this was a No, that's not legal. It's not legal. But through my other videos, I will teach you how to respond to an appeal for a denial, because they really can't do it. But you would have to ask the right questions, write the right things, so that they understand that you know your rights. Half of us don't understand the rights of housing. We're not just talking about Housing Connect. We're talking about housing in general. Most people let the landlord or the management tell you, I got an application on it. Who cares? That's what it's supposed to have. It's supposed to have 20, 30 applications until the landlord picks someone. By you telling me it got an application, you're just pushing me off. They can't tell you that you can't view an apartment because it's past your budget. Ain't nothing past your budget. By law, they have to show it to you. Whether your voucher cover it, you're over the budget, that's not their problem. Secondly, those that are in a shelter, or even those who have a case manager, once you get a landlord packet on your own in a lease, you must have them uploaded. No matter if they tell you that the voucher's not going to cover it, that's no one's problem. The only person that can tell you that the voucher is not enough and we're going to deny the apartment is HPD and DHS. If that voucher doesn't go uploaded, then it's over. You can forget about it. But they have to upload it. Just know that. Anybody, they can't deny you apartment viewing. They can't tell you got to pay a good faith deposit. They can't do none of that. So with that being said, we all know that this Housing Connect game is different, but stay tuned. I got some more things to come, and it's going to be very interesting. Shout out to my sponsors, Bud City. You can find them at 3144 Fulton Street, Brooklyn, New York. Legal cannabis store. That's Bud City at budcity.com or 3144 Fulton Street. Check them out. Tell them Godfrey sent you. 10% discount. Y'all stay cool and don't let them play you.